Lucy Fitzgerald coming off the bench, Jill Kenny last week too, both off the bench to score goals, turning that game on its head. Really promising start for Karen Hill's side to build on, and Ipswich taking their time to find their feet in this division. It was always going to be tough. There is an argument that the step up from Tier 3 to Tier 2 is even tougher than the step up from Tier 2 to the WSL. I think there's a lot in that argument. But Ipswich have to take hope and comfort from what Portsmouth did last season. They took a long time to get going, did Portsmouth, even as late as March. You wouldn't have bet much on them staying up. They found a way to do it. And Ipswich have to take every week as a learning experience. And they have certainly improved half by half, I would say, in this season. They got off to a terrible start at Southampton. They could have been 2-0 down inside 5 minutes. They were 3-0 down inside half an hour. Went on to lose that match 4-0 on opening day. Last weekend 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, who, like Ipswich, came up for this season. But positives to build on, how they'd love to get their first WSL 2 goal this afternoon. And anything more than that really would be a bonus. Here's Maria Boswell, the Ipswich captain. Taking it slow and steady from the start. Natalia Negri, who had a spell on loan at Charlton when she was with Arsenal in their academy and playing regularly for their under-21s. Here is Bethan Rowe, the former Charlton player. Spins well and lays it off, and Thomas goes down. No free kick, says referee Joanne Horwood. And it's out for a Charlton throw. Charlotte Newsham, who played splendidly last week, had a key role in both of the Charlton goals. The Charlton number 3. Here she is again. Tries to thread it through, but there's probably too much pace on that. And Boswell, oh well, she can't let it go out of play because Karen Moy did really well to get a foot to it and kept it in. Ipswich do, though, get the free kick and take a bit of pressure off themselves. Negri, the Ipswich goalkeeper, she has spoken of her ambitions of perhaps one day breaking into the senior Lionesses setup. Still only 21. Also eligible for Italy or Spain. Charlton on the charge once more. It's behind Bissell, almost comes through to Hutton. Moyer picks it up. It's given away once more. Newsham tries to bundle her way through. She really has got a shot on her when she gets room to take a shot from distance. She so often does it. Does Charlotte Newsham? Not on that occasion, though. Charlton coming again. Flicked onto Testrup with the volley. Oh, flashes across goal. Amelie Testrup, the Dane, new signing this summer. Formerly played in the WSL with West Ham, also with Liverpool in the Championship. We know all about her quality. Got 9 goals for Bristol City in the WSL that season that they got relegated. That's quite some return to get 9 goals for a struggling side in the WSL. And not far away there, Amelie Testrup, from what would have been her first goal for her new club. Pretty much the entire game being played in the Ipswich half at the moment. They've got to find an outlet, find a way to relieve the pressure, to stop that early red tide. The wayward pass once more. Gives Newsham the opportunity for a throw-in near the halfway line. to Moya. Moya turns. And Charlton just creep their way up this right-hand touchline as they attack. And again, you can see Joe Sheehan there, the Ipswich manager, right on the edge of his technical area. What an achievement for him, bringing Ipswich up from Tier 4 to Tier 2 ultimately. Newsham goes down, no free kick. Rowe carries it away, feeds it off to Thomas. And it does stay in, say the officials. So Paige Peake, a summer signing from Southampton, back at the club where it all began for her. Ipswich clatters it clear. It's with Rowe once more. Back to Peake, the number 24. She rolls it across to Boswell. Charlton in their second season now of using the Valley for all of their league matches. They became the first London club tied to a men's professional club to do that last season. Real rich history that Charlton have. FA Cup winners back in 2005. Karen Hills, their manager, a player that day. And what a job she's done with Charlton, but how she would love to take that final precious step up to the top flight. So much to be positive about in the early stages of this season, but it is early stages. A lot of football still to be played in a division that seems to become more and more competitive every season. And Dow, who has played WSL football with Aston Villa, the Charlton number 5, is now with Newsham once more. Back to Skeels, the captain. Still only 23. Experience which belies her years. The former Reading player, Kira Skeels, in the heart of that Charlton back 3. Neville. Leah Mitchell is fouled, and it will be an Ipswich free kick. Caught by Bissell. Emma Bissell, another player with WSL experience. Came from Manchester City, was with Everton as well. Scored the winner here on opening day against Crystal Palace. Lovely turn by Summer Hughes. First start of the season for her. Runs it out of play in the end. But did well to gain a few yards for the visitors. Mitchell to Neville. Neville back inside to Boswell and Paige Peake. It has been a more confident start, this Ipswich's second away match of the season, and they were all at sea on the south coast against Southampton on that opening day. They look more controlled here, even though Charlton have had the best of it, and that's a lovely layoff by Pescott. And Rihanna Dean has won Ipswich a corner. Well, they have only won 4 corners all season, so that's quite something. Small steps, small strides as they look to find their feet in this division. Early corner for Ipswich. And it will be the former Charlton player to take it, Bethan Rowe. In it comes from Rowe. Comes back out to Hughes. She couldn't bring it under control. Rowe once more looking to find space for the cross. She has to fend it back to Hughes. And Moya pushes her back. Now with Neville. Neville goes long. Headed on by Jenna Deere. Signed from Sunderland in the summer. And out for a Charlton goal kick, but positive signs for Ipswich. decent little spell from Joe Sheehan's side. Ross back to Whitehouse. She's had a splendid start to the season, has a Charlton goalkeeper, particularly in that opening day against Crystal Palace. Several superb saves to keep a clean sheet on that occasion. Newsham can let that go out of play. Former Sheffield United captain Charlotte Newsham, who's about to take this throw in. Close to breaking into the Scotland team too. Got her first call up for the Nations League tie against the Netherlands at the end of last season. Didn't win a cap, but very much in the thinking now. The Scotland manager. Joanne Horwood just ushering Newsham back for this throw-in. Pretty quiet opening 10 minutes. Emily Testrup's half-volley snapshot across the goal, the closest either side has come. Did wonder if Charlton might attack the opening spell here with a bit more intensity, given Ipswich's early season vulnerabilities. Neville rolls it back to Negri. Mitchell out to Neville on the right hand flank. She sends it on to Peskett. Peskett can really run with pace. She has to lay it off though to Dean, and Dean's pass is a little bit awkward. And ultimately Charlton win it back. Testrup is tackled fairly. Jenna Deere, lovely footwork from her. Oh, and a lovely little layoff through the middle too. The Charlton defence read it. Neville. Peskett. Peskett thought about the shot, then tried to flick it through to Dean. Boswell to Peake. Well, this is probably the most sustained pressure we've seen from Ipswich all season. That's not an exaggeration. They're stringing it together really well here, and here's Peskett with the cross in, too close to Whitehouse. With a lovely little spell of possession from the WSL, two newcomers. I think they'll take a lot of confidence from their start here at the Valley. As we approach the quarter-hour mark. And down back to Skeels. Here is Gracie Pearce, the former Tottenham player, her first start of the season this afternoon. The Northern Ireland international Ellie Mason not involved today. Signed from Birmingham in the summer was Mason. Started the season really well. Newsham with the long throw. It's over the head of Testrup, drops to Bissell. Boswell gets a really good block in. Thomas tries to win it back from Newsham, and Newsham is hassled and harried into giving it away. Here is Thomas, and she's won her side a free kick. Natasha Thomas, the Ipswich all-time record appearance maker and goal scorer. Been at the club for a decade. Became the first ever Ipswich Town women player to win an international cap with Jamaica. Actually came on in that friendly just before the Euros against England. What a day, what a moment that was for her. The result obviously didn't go Jamaica's way, but to play against England and win an international cap, She started against Southampton on the opening day, was on the bench last week, was Natasha Thomas, back in the starting lineup today. Ipswich, deep free kick. Charlton clear their lines, Moyer to Bissell. Oh, but it's given away by Bissell and Rowe. Newsham gets there first for Charlton, and Skills thwacks that out of play. I think Joe Sheehan there on the left of the frame, just drifting out of picture now. Will be really happy with what he's seen. Here's Karen Hills, the Charlton manager, barking out a few instructions on the edge of her technical box. They have been slow starters, really, not in terms of points, obviously, with a maximum 6, but in terms of goals, all of Charlton's goals have come in the second half so far this season. Bissell in the 55th minute in that 1-0 win against Crystal Palace here on opening day, and then last weekend coming from 1-0 down to win that game 2-1 with 2 late goals. Gillian Kenny in the 75th minute. And then 8 minutes later, Lucy Fitzgerald. They do have so much quality on the bench, do Charlton. So they're not going to panic at any stage. But Ipswich will take a lot of heart from the way they've started this. And they've got another free kick. Captain Maria Boswell to take this one. Dean and Deere and Rowe and Mitchell among the players on the edge of the penalty box. Natasha Thomas too. And Paige Peake comes through towards Leah Mitchell, who gets the header back out to the wing where Summer Hughes is beaten to it. But Boswell keeps it in and sends it back to Neville. Now across to Mitchell. Mitchell makes the most of the space in the centre of the pitch. Thomas back to Neville. Boswell out to Peskett on the right. Peskett loves to run at defences when she can, and she had the opportunity there. Still has it, Sophie Peskett. Gets a low cross in. Dean's in space and turns and gets the shot away. But it's blocked by a Charlton boot. Well, that will probably register as Ipswich's second shot on target this season. That's how hard they've had to work for opportunities. And within the first 20 minutes here, Rhianna Dean on the turn, getting the shot away. Another moment to give hope to Charlton and what is always going to be, when you look at the fixture list, away to Charlton, one of the toughest fixtures of the season. But they've acquitted themselves really well in the opening 20 minutes almost here at the Valley. Flannery, the on-loan West Ham player, she started so well last week. Not really been much involved in the game here this afternoon. Charlton appeal for a corner, but it's out for an Ipswich goal kick. Natalia Negri just waits for her teammates to take up their positions. Both arms raised. Goal kick taken long towards the halfway line, dropped to Peake. Charlton win it back with Newsham, only momentarily. Here's Rowe, tries to wriggle away from Moyer, but Flannery picks it up. And lays a short pass off to Newsham. Newsham tried to find Ross, but Ipswich have won it back. And here comes Leah Mitchell. Strong run from Mitchell. And she ran into Flannery. He got the tackle in. And lays it off to Pearce. Jodie Hutton. Lovely crossing with the left boot, and Negri at the third attempt gets there. Under pressure from Testrup. Negri puts Peake under a bit of pressure. Peake's giving it away to Hutton. Hutton picks out Moya. Moya's pass was wayward. It may well have been her intention that she knew that Newsham was drifting in on that right-hand flank. But it didn't give her teammate much chance of getting there. Charlton win a free kick though, as Ndow is bundled to the floor. Now Ipswich have struggled defending set pieces. 4 of the 5 goals they've conceded, well, 3 of them have come from corners, 1 from a recycled corner. They know they're going to need to defend much better as the season wears on, and this is a chance for Charlton to test that Ipswich defence. They haven't done enough of that in this opening quarter of the game. In it comes, and Negri clutches it really competently. Bissell's gone down. I think she was clutching her back initially. May just have been winded, Emma Bissell. Or in fact, it's Mia Ross. Mia Ross who's gone down and is now up on her feet, just clutching that lower right back. But good to see she's okay. And the game will recommence with a drop ball. Not the best clearance that from Negri. Smashes it out of play for a Charlton throw. Newsham takes it long. Flannery back to Newsham. Back to the on-loan West Ham player, Flannery. To Skeels, out to Pearce. Pearce with space to run into, but she checks back and goes inside. Skeels picks out Ndow this time. She chips it up towards Pearce. Peskett was running in and got a vital block in to impede Charlton's progress, but Hutton will take the throw in. Bissell turns, gets past Neville, but Boswell's there to mop up. Bissell wins it back though. Rowe carries it away for Ipswich. Neville to Mitchell, who just managed to shield it off away from Ross. Flannery to Ndow. Ndow tries to pick out Moya, and that one's going to roll out of play. Moya says it got a touch off of Peake, and a corner has been given. Well, this has been Ipswich's real weak spot, defending corners. Charlton with their first of the afternoon, and they load that 6-yard box understandably. Hung up high towards the far post, and Ipswich get ahead on it. Neville plays the 1-2 with Deer. Mitchell back to Boswell, and then it's with the keeper Negri once more. Page Peak. Sends it long in the direction of Dean, but Ndow wins the header. Before Skills does likewise. And then Newsham hammers it into the southeast London sky. It has dropped ultimately, briefly, to Thomas. Charlton, though, win it back. Peak plays it back to Negri. Neville to Negri, who took a bit of a risk there. It's the second time that's happened. It's fallen to Hutton. And momentarily, at least, Ipswich have got away with it once more. Newsham, as she can cause so much trouble down this right-hand side. She did it to great effect last week against Durham, did Charlotte Newsham, when she gets into those sort of positions. But Ipswich once more defend well. Pearce. Skeels inside the centre circle, the Charlton captain. Sends it through to Testrup, lays it off well to Ross. Ross goes from distance. This is straight into the arms of Negri. Thomas under pressure from Newsham. Moya wins it back for Charlton. Testrup back to Flannery, and it's with Ndow on the halfway line. Skeels to Pearce on her left. Skeels goes long this time, over the top towards Hutton. Hutton does well to keep it in. And goes over the advertising hoardings, as does Pescott. The pair of them okay, though. She had to stretch every sinew to keep that in, but ultimately, even though she prevented it going out of play with her touch, it was up into the air and then drops behind that goal for an Ipswich goal kick. Negri sends it long once more. Rowe wins the flick on, but it drops to Newsham and she just lets it go out of play for a Charlton throw-in. Newsham hurls it towards Testrup. Ipswich head wins it, the ball though, and it's back with Newsham of Charlton. Skeels across to Pearce. Ross started all 3 games this season in the centre of midfield. He was alongside Katie Bradley here on that opening day. Bradley sent off for 2 yellow cards that day, which saw her serve a 1-match ban last weekend and gave Flannery the chance to start alongside Ross. Flannery started that match so well against Durham last weekend and kept her starting place this afternoon. Most of the Charlton players, though, not so heavily involved in the opening half hour here. It's been a good start by Ipswich. The WSL 2 newcomers, and still looking for their very first goal, their very first points of the season. Flannery with a lovely ball through to Testrup. Now it's over the top for Newsham to give chase. Newsham gets there ahead of Rowe. Oh, and lovely footwork from Charlotte Newsham. Pulls it back to Bissell, who takes a shot on, and Pete got across to block it. Charlton corner. And that's more like it from Charlton. Charlotte Newsham so often the danger woman. Former Sheffield United player, former Sheffield United captain. Charlotte Newsham. And once more as Jodie Hutton prepares to take this in-swinger. And in fact, they've put fewer bodies around Negri this time of Charlton. They've left a lot of bodies level with the penalty spot. Just the two in the 6-yard box. Now they come though. It's in the direction of Skills. But once more, Ipswich have defended stoutly. They really will be taking confidence from every minute that they can extend this clean sheet. Every set piece that they successfully defend. They've done really well in this first opening half hour when you compare it to their two previous games. Obviously been working hard on the training pitch, and Joe Sheehan, the manager, will be really happy with what he's seen. Certainly from a defensive perspective. Here's Dean. Can they offer more on the offensive? She flicks it through to Thomas. Newsham forces the Jamaica international wide. Thomas inside to Rowe, who's got a little pocket of space, but is forced backwards to Peak. Boswell to Neville. New Zealand international with plenty of WSL2 experience. Grace Neville brings to Ipswich with London City Lionesses. Left them this summer, having been part of the team that helped get them promoted to the WSL. And Dow has to play the ball. She wanted to let it go, but Thomas put her under pressure, and in the end wins Ipswich a throw in advanced territory. Hughes to take. Dean and Deere and Pescott inside the box. Rowe gives her the short option. Thomas also lurking on the side of the penalty area. Hughes does go short to Rowe. And Rowe wins Ipswich. Well, in fact, it's gone behind for a goal kick, rather disappointingly from an Ipswich perspective. Thought for a moment she had won them their second corner of the afternoon. It'll be a Charlton goal kick. Pescott turns in the centre circle, surges away from Ross, feeds it off to Thomas and takes a return. Flannery gets a strong challenge in though. And Ipswich are forced all the way back to Paige Peak, now inside to Boswell in the centre circle. Negri a long way out of her goal. And remains there. Sends it, unfortunately for her, straight to the head of Endow. Moya. Good tackle by Moya on Rowe. But ultimately, a free kick has been given against Moya, says referee Joanne Horwood. Boswell, the Ipswich captain, sends it straight down the middle. Headed on, and Endow gets a header away for Charlton. Drops to Bissell. Sends it back to Newsham. Boswell wins the header for Ipswich, but it's out of play for a Charlton throw. Thomas wins the header for Ipswich, drops to Rowe. Rowe did well momentarily, but it's picked up again by Charlton. Hutton back to Pearce, originally joined on loan from Tottenham back in December 2023, did the Charlton number 6, Gracie Pearce. Mitchell does well to hold on to it. Peskett back to Neville, to Boswell. "10 minutes plus added time till the break." Back again with Negri. She sends it long, but the header is won by Pearce. Oh, lovely flick on. Here's Mitchell. She's got Peskett to her right. Peskett will get there and sends the cross in. It was just advanced of dear Hughes to Rowe. Rowe tries to skirm away into a bit of space, but in the end couldn't execute the shot. It was going well wide of Whitehouse's goal. An attacking intent from Ipswich Town, which we have not seen enough of this season. They've just not really had the chance. Coming into this game, in fact, it was just a one shot on target they had in their opening 2 games. That was Peskett against Forest last week. But they've carried greater attacking threat this afternoon. Boswell to Mitchell. Boswell on the stretch and just gets there in time. Neville is given away. He'll go all the way through to Negri. You can see 3 shots from Ipswich, 1 on target. Ipswich themselves with just the 1 shot, so that Rihanna Dean Swiveland shot doesn't count officially as a shot on target. The way these stats are very precisely measured these days, but decent possession from Ipswich there, 57% away from home. It's definitely been their first, as we near half-time, their best half of football as a WSL2 club in every department, I would say, for Ipswich. And Dean is down here, holding her right ankle, I think. She's okay, up on her feet and ready to resume. With a throw-in which Grace Neville will take. Negri out to the left-hand touchline. Rowe with the flick on. It's straight out of play for a Charlton throw. Joanne Horwood just ushers Newsham back. Wasn't going to let her get away with taking it from 10 yards advance to where the ball went out, as players do so often get away with, of course. Newsham back to Skeels, across to Pearce. Ross. Pearce. And Hutton on the turn wins the throw and hurls it long. For all I keep saying that Ipswich will take a lot of confidence from the way they've started. Charlton are always supremely confident. They know the quality they have on the bench. They know that they always have the ability to win a game from something special. They won't be in any way concerned. They won't panic at any points. They will take their time until they find a way to pick this Ipswich lock if they can. They've got to throw in here. Which Hutton will take. Foul throw though. So it will go Ipswich's way. Four minutes plus added time till the break. Throw in for Charlton and Jody Hutton. To Flannery, back to Hutton. Testrup, lovely layoff to Moyer. Moyer tries to wriggle away free of Rowe. Sends in the low cross. Now it's with Endow. Oh, scoops it over the crossbar. Alicia Endow. Plays on the right side of that back three. Not the perfect player you would want in that position. Didn't do too badly though. Not a million miles over, but you never felt from the moment that it was leaving her boot that it was going to unduly trouble Natalia Negri. Headed on by Rowe towards Dean. And Dow wins ahead of a Charlton, drops to Moyer. Rowe sends it back over the top. Free kick to Charlton, which Thomas complains about vociferously. Joanne Horwood, of course, is not going to change her mind. And Dow with the short free kick across to Pearce. Time yet for either team to strike a late blow at the end of this first half in South East London. And Testrup's found a little pocket of space on the right-hand side. She's got Newsham on the overlap, read really well by Rowe. Rowe scampers across to keep it in, but gives it away to Flannery. Flannery to Endow. Endow with the cross towards the penalty spot. Neville heads away for Ipswich. Pearce carries it forward. Sends it back to Endow. And now with Skeels. Pearce through to Ross. Ross has it once more. And Charlton find a breakthrough right at the end of this first half. Moyer. Still Moyer to Ross. Oh, an Ipswich boot got a really vital touch. I think it was Leah Mitchell. Wouldn't imagine there's going to be too much added time at the end of this first half. Ipswich will take so much heart if they can go in on level terms at the break. But Charlton coming on strong here. Expecting just a minute to be added on. Moyer. And Dow finds Newsham. Lovely turn by Newsham. Flannery knocks it over the top. Testrup brings it down with her chest and tries to find room for the shot. Once more, Ipswich clear their lines. Skeels. Long ball out to Newsham. Newsham will get there. She keeps it in. Really clever play from Newsham across to Bissell, whose shot is low and straight into the arms of Negri. in doubt. On the stretch, gets there. No free kick, says the referee. Well, Charlton almost stopped playing there, and that could have been costly. 1 minute added time confirmed. We are into it. Here's Hutton, and she's won a corner. One last test for Ipswich at the end of this first half. Probably one last chance for Charlton to take a lead in at the break. In comes the corner, and Negri gets there, clutches it out of the air. And Neville just about gets away in time, and there goes the half-time whistle from Joanne Hallwood. An almost heroic performance, you have to say, from Ipswich in comparison to their opening two games in the division. Come away from home to one of the toughest teams. For 45 minutes at least, they've remained their equals. Charlton, remember, came into this game with a maximum 6-point haul from their first two games. They have so much quality on the bench, quality they used to great effect last week by bringing on Kenny and Fitzgerald, who both went on to score. And there is still much more of a test to come in the second half for Ipswich. But half time at the Valley, Charlton 0, Ipswich Town 0. Welcome back to the Valley, where it's Charlton 0, Ipswich 0, as we prepare to kick off the second half on match day 3. Barclays Women's Super League 2 season 2025-26. Charlton began this game with a maximum 6 points. Ipswich still looking for their very first point as a WSL 2 club, having come up as Women's National League Southern Premier champions last season. Karen Hills has used her substitution. Charlton game changers to great effect already this season. Last week we saw Lucy Fitzgerald and Jill Kenny come off the bench to score. Seeing a couple of changes at the break here from Karen Hills. What goes Mia Ross, Lucy Fitzgerald coming on. She had the same impact she had last week. And Emma Bissell is also making way, we believe, for Katie Bradley, who returns from her one-match suspension. Emma Bissell, the goal scorer here on opening day, the winner against Crystal Palace, but she won't be on the score sheet this afternoon. Katie Bradley, midfielder, on for Bissell. Ipswich 45 minutes away from their first ever point as a WSL2 club. Thomas goes from distance, looking for their first ever goal in this division. It was always heading over that one. Natasha Thomas, Ipswich's all-time record appearance maker and goal scorer. Been with the club since joining from Lowestoft back in 2015. Come up from Tier 4 to Tier 2 with the team. And Bethan Rowe, former Charlton player, has won her side a free kick early in this second half.
I think she's the same as this one.
Free kick towards the edge of the Charlton box, headed down, and Rowe gets there, but Whitehouse gets a vital block on it. The Charlton goalkeeper, well, she's still down, is Whitehouse, and the referee's going to have to halt play here. She was rather worryingly holding her head immediately after going down. As she's still doing now, as the medical staff are there. Well, Rowe had to go for the ball, and Whitehouse very bravely dove at her feet to get the block in. I was saying earlier how well Whitehouse played here on opening day against Crystal Palace. She's had less to do this afternoon, but she was alert to the danger there. Bethan Rowe found herself with so much space against her former club. And but for the heroics of Sophie Whitehouse, she might well have put Ipswich ahead. Well, Charlton have Anna Pedersen on the bench, their substitute goalkeeper. 23-year-old, signed this summer from Rugby Borough. Signed a one-year deal with an option for another year. Was with London City Lionesses here in South East London before her time with Rugby Borough. You wonder if she might be called into action here, the Charlton substitute goalkeeper. Sophie Whitehouse is back on her feet. That's a promising sign. Is she, though, going to be able to continue? Well, it would appear so, and that's a relief, first and foremost, that she's okay, but also for Charlton not wanting to lose their experienced goalkeeper. Player who had a fine couple of seasons at Lewis before joining at the start of last season, joining Charlton. Played really well last season too, won the championship as it was then, save of the season. For a block here in the 3-3 draw with Newcastle. Lucian with the header to Moya, but it was out of play before Moya could swing a hopeful boot at it. I was talking about the options that Charlton have on the bench. Ipswich actually only have 5 substitutes this afternoon, 5 of the 9 that you're permitted to name these days, of course, and perhaps that's another indication that they might have left themselves just a little bit thin heading up to this higher level. The Ipswich substitutes, by the way, all youngsters too when it comes to the 4 outfield players. Laura Hartley is the substitute goalkeeper for Ipswich, but they've got Ruby Seaby, 18-year-old former Arsenal player, on the bench. Well, it's behind for an Ipswich goal kick. Maddie Earle, also 18, on loan from Arsenal. 20-year-old defender Megan Waring, Scotland Youth International she is. And 18-year-old Casey J. Bonnick. So a really young, inexperienced bench. Inexperienced at this level for Ipswich, and just the 4 outfield players. That might take its toll as limbs weary. The early autumn sunshine in southeast London. There's a foul by Rihanna Dean, the former Tottenham player, on Kira Skills, the Charlton captain. Newsham tries to spring Testrup 3 with the long ball. Ipswich cut it out and Beard down the left. Thomas with the flick, but it's given away. Long ball over the top for Moya to give chase. Moya gets there ahead of Peake. Still Karen Moya. Oh, but Peake just got a vital block in. Moya pulls it back. Ipswich scramble it clear. Testrup still hasn't given up the chase, but Ipswich do ultimately clear their lines, and now it's all the way back with Whitehouse. Long ball down the left-hand channel for the former Aston Villa and Bristol City player, Jodie Hutton. It's an Ipswich free kick as Neville is knocked to the turf by Hutton. Moya, lovely turn from Moya. And a fine layoff too to Newsham. Newsham's got so much space to lift the cross to the far side, but actually an Ipswich head deflected it away from Jodie Hutton. Newsham may feel she could have done more with that. She so often does the maximum from those sort of positions, by finding a teammate to at least get a shot on goal, but not on that occasion. And Dow, low ball through the middle, it's back with and Dow. Newsham comes inside, gives the ball away, and it's out for a Charlton throw just inside the Ipswich half. Charlton finished third last season when it was just one up. This year, of course, two go up to what will become an expanded WSL top flight next season. It will become 14 teams. 2 teams from WSL 2 will go up automatically, and the third place team will face a playoff against a side that finishes bottom in the WSL. So a possibility that the top 3 will go up, and Charlton will very much fancy they have a chance of finishing in that top 3. They will hope very much that it's the top 2 in an automatic position. They finished third last season. The year before, they were only a point behind Crystal Palace, the champions. In 2022-23, they were 4th. So they've been there or thereabouts in these last 3 years under Karen Hills. We'll see it as a bit of a setback if they fail to take maximum points here. Yes, no game at this level is easy, but when you're at home to a side that's just come up and hasn't yet registered a point, of course you're going to be heavy favourites. And at the moment, Ipswich are 35 minutes plus added time away from what would have to be regarded as a shock result. They can hold on to this 0-0 or perhaps even better it. Leah Mitchell wins a free kick. I think the biggest positive for Joshi, and yes, there's a long way to go, is that there hasn't been any of those sloppy mistakes, certainly that we saw on the opening day, defending set pieces against Southampton. Or even last week when a lax clearance gave Deanne Rose a really good chance for Nottingham Forest. She didn't take it. Forest did, though, go on to win that 1-0. So far, they've got all the basics right this afternoon. Newsham is forced back. Flannery with a deep ball in, and Negri clutches that out of the air. Ipswich throw in to Mitchell, but Charlton win it back. And Testrup's got space to run into in this left-hand corner, and she'll keep it in. Almost drops to Bradley. But Pescott wins the goal kick. Negri with the goal kick. Flicked on by Thomas. Almost drops to Dean. But Skills sends it back to Whitehouse. Who ushers Skills out to the right and goes left to Pearce. Hutton on the turn. Throw in for Ipswich. Mary McAteer is ready to come on. You can see her standing in the Charlton technical area, the Wales international. So Karen Hill's about to make her third change of the afternoon. Very much a forward player, Mary McAteer. So you'd imagine it'll be Moya or Testrup to make way for Mary McAteer. Here's Pescott with the chance to, well, Bradley's done really well there for Charlton on at half-time, Katie Bradley. Having served that one-match ban last week for the sending off for 2 yellow cards against Crystal Palace here on the opening day. Ipswich take the throw-in quickly to Jenna Deere. Then the cross comes in, headed down by Dean. And there's no one there in support. And Newsham does the hard work to get it clear for Charlton. Now it's with Flannery. Flannery inside to Bradley. Bradley runs into trouble though, and it's picked up by Pescott. Pescott gets a low shot in, it's immediately blocked. And from distance, it's well wide of Whitehouse's left upright. And that Charlton substitution, double substitution in fact, is going to be made. Emily Testrup departs, and Gillian Kennedy, who came on and scored last week, is on, and Carrie Moya is off for Mary McAteer. So it's a double change up top. Moya and Testrup off, Kenny and McAteer on.
And substitution for Ipswich Town, replacing number 7, Natasha Thomas, is number 20, Megan Ware.
And Ipswich also making a change as Megan Waring, the Scotland Youth International defender, comes in for Natasha Thomas. So both sides ringing the changes on the hour mark. And Charlton's substitutions worked to devastating effect last weekend. Are we going to see likewise from them this time round? Mitchell for Ipswich. Neville. Low ball in, but it's blocked at the first attempt. Drops to Boswell, and a free kick for Ipswich just outside the Charlton box. Yellow card, first of the afternoon. Shown to Jodie Hutton. Paige Peake, the number 24, can hit these. She's certainly hit them, a few of these in her first spell as an Ipswich player. Back now, having been with Southampton, rejoining Ipswich this summer. Certainly not an easy position, but she goes for it and she gets right under it. There was never any chance of that bothering Sophie Whitehouse. Just confirmation of that yellow card for Jodie Hutton. Ipswich come again. Neville with the cross in, and Whitehouse clutches that out of the southeast London air. McAteer wins the double header, but it drops to Peskett. McAteer, of course, was with Wales with the training camp at the Euros this summer. She wasn't part of the full squad in that historic Euro 2025, Wales' first ever major tournament. Hutton with the cross, and it's actually almost creates a crossbar. It's more a shot than a cross. Not far away, boy, Jodie Hutton. Fresh from going into the book. And that ability for Karen Hills to freshen up the front line. They've got an entirely new front three now from what they started this match with. Charlton, with Bissell, Testrup and Moyer all off, and Lucy Fitzgerald, Gillian Kenny and Mary McAteer all on, bringing fresh legs and so much talent, so much youth as well. Gillian Kenny turned 23 on Friday. Negri does well under pressure to roll it back to Peake. Lucy Fitzgerald, still only 24. Mary McAteer, former Sunderland and Coventry United player, just 21. Kenny and Fitzgerald linked up really well last weekend against Durham. As did Newsham with the pair of them. Dean goes flying through. And Whitehouse races out of goal once more to smash that clear. Boswell with the throw in for Ipswich. Gained a few valuable yards as they get another throw down this right-hand touchline as they attack. Paige Peake inside the centre circle, rolls it back to Negri. Boswell once more with the throw from right on the halfway line. It's a real up and under, and in the end it's played back to Negri. McAteer comes surging through. Negri gets it away in time. Appeals for handball, and it is indeed against Leah Mitchell, a free kick for Charlton. Yet really managed to raise the tempo since those substitutions, Charlton. Game's gone a bit flat. Free kick though in a promising position for them. It's taken across to Flannery. Flannery comes inside, works room for the shot. plays it down the centre of the pitch, and Pearce turns and swivels and gives it away ultimately. Fitzgerald, former London City Lionesses player, just come on and brings it forward for Charlton. Mitchell. Pearce picks it up for Charlton. It will be an Ipswich free kick. Jenna Deere, former Sunderland player, started out in the Chelsea Youth Academy, wins the free kick for Ipswich. Megan Waring, the recent substitute, will take it. Marks out as a potential future full Scotland international. Represented her country at youth level has Megan Waring. Dean lays it off really well to Boswell. Boswell low to Deere. Back to Neville. Neville to Deere. Deere loops it in towards Dean, but it's too close once more to Whitehouse. Ipswich getting a bit of joy now on that right flank, particularly with Grace Neville. Halfway through the second half, three quarters of the way, Ipswich are to what would be a famous result if they can come away from the Valley undefeated. Fitzgerald goes down under pressure from Mitchell and wins a free kick. Jodie Hutton and Katie Bradley stand over the ball. Bradley with the in-swinger to really put Negri under pressure. It looks like it will be as Hutton retreats. And Negri's got to be careful there. She's pushed Kenny a couple of times. Deep free kick towards Skills, and it's behind for a Charlton corner, which Hutton will come across and take, and this will be the in-swinger with the left boot of Jodie Hutton, you'd imagine. And that Sunshine probably now in the worst possible position for Natalia Negri and the Ipswich defence. And once more, she's had a little push there. Negri on and doubt. Obviously, you've got to stand your ground as a goalkeeper. You've got to be careful too nowadays of anything untoward in the box. And it comes from Hutton. It's onto the roof of the net. It was an in-swinger, the ultimate in-swinger, hoping to send it directly in under the crossbar, but it drops onto the roof of that Ipswich net. 20 minutes plus added time to play. Ipswich creeping ever closer to their first ever point at WSL 2 level. A long way to go. This time last week, Charlton were losing 1-0 up at Durham. They won that game 2-1. Dow's half clearance clatters into Deere. Oh, Pescott had a bit of space down the middle, but the ball just didn't find her from, I think it was Neville. And Dow carries it away, sends it through to Kenny. Kenny with the layoff, the offside flag's gone up though, to the frustration of Gillian Kenny. Negri sends it long. Fitzgerald. Short ball inside to Bradley. Oh, it's given away in the centre of the park. And Pescott tries to take it beyond Flannery, but between Flannery and Endow, they win the ball back for Charlton. Now it's with McAteer. Hughes wrestles her off the ball really well. Good work from Summer Hughes. Negri to Peak. Fitzgerald scampered across to try and get there. Peak just rolls it back to Negri. Negri sends it down the right-hand side. And it's kept in. Lovely layoff to Deer. Mitchell to Pescott. Pescott is fouled. And it'll be a free kick for Ipswich. Ipswich goal really would put the cat among the pigeons. It's not really from set-piece situations that they carry their greatest threat. But in it comes. It's headed on by Waring towards Dean. Charlton's defence holds firm. And Charlton have got a chance on the overload here as they get bodies forward in number. McAteer. Still Mary McAteer, she loops it out towards Fitzgerald, but it's over her head and drifts harmlessly behind. And they just haven't found a way to link up as coherently as they did to such devastating effect last weekend when they came off the bench, that front three. There's three forward players. Kenny gets there ahead of Waring, but lost her footing, and Waring can just let that roll out of play for a throw. Rather rolled back into play, but it had gone over the line, so it is an Ipswich throw. Fitzgerald can't keep that in under pressure from Neville. Boswell with the throw. There's going to be midweek Subway League Cup action for both these two after this game. Charlton with a London derby at home to West Ham. And Dow gets there for Charlton. With the up and under clearance. Newsham can't get there though, and it's Pescott. Pescott still has it. Oh, nice little layoff from Sophie Pescott. Now it's back with Rowe, the former Charlton player. She lays it off to Neville. Neville's pass just asks a little bit too much of Deer and forces her out wide. Sheilo finds Mitchell and Rowe tries to get there, but Pearce turns it behind for an Ipswich corner. Leah Mitchell, Megan Waring, all options in there. Jenna Deer goes right towards the goal line, marshalled closely by Katie Bradley. In comes the corner. There looked a bit of a tug on Leah Mitchell's shirt there. Saw an arm pull her shirt. Nothing given, and this will drop to Boswell. But Hutton clears that out of play. Ipswich throw. Good period this from the visitors. Charlton at home to West Ham in the League Cup is coming midweek. Ipswich at home to Leicester. throw towards Dean. Megan Waring firm in the challenge. It's going to be a free kick though in Charlton's favour. Then after that League Cup midweek action, it's back into WSL 2 duty next weekend. Ipswich home to Portsmouth, a team they can take great inspiration from. Portsmouth came up at the start of last season, struggled for, well, what was it, 4/5 of the season almost, but found a way at the end to climb to safety. Charlton, they're away to Newcastle next weekend, another team desperate to find a way up to the promised land of the WSL. Sophie Whitehouse down for the second time this afternoon. When play resumes, there's going to be 13 minutes plus added time for Charlton to try and find a breakthrough. Update on the stats: 5 shots from Charlton, 7 now from Ipswich, just one of them on target, but that is only their second on target shot of the season. Ipswich 2 on target for Charlton. Ipswich still edging the possession, 52%. Really encouraging signs for Ipswich this afternoon. But Charlton are so professional in their approach. They've not blown away either of the teams they've beaten this season, just a single goal margin on each occasion. Beating Palace here on opening day, Durham away last weekend, but they found a way each time, and you certainly know they still have it in them to find a way this afternoon. Or are we going to see the ultimate smash and grab from Ipswich in terms of shock results? I don't say that in terms of their performance. They played really well, but I don't think anyone would have expected before kick-off that a point was really within Ipswich's grasp, given their start and their very shaky performances in the first 2 games. But who knows, they could even do better than that as things stand right now, as Newsham tries to find an avenue on this right-hand flank. Back inside to Flannery. Dean did enough to put her off and not concede the free kick. Newsham and McAteer now. McAteer's got Kenny to one side and Fitzgerald. Oh, and Newsham's caught there by Hughes, nothing given. She played the ball, says the referee. And Dow tries to get there, but Hughes once more, who's done so well on her WSL 2 full debut. And Dow with the throw-in. Now and Dow with the cross, headed away. Skeels. Across to Pearce. Back now with Skeels. And Dow. Dow tries to thread it through to McAteer. Will be a Charlton throw into the final 10 plus added time. Newsham to take it. It's over the head of Fitzgerald. Rather wayward ball that drops to Pearce in the middle of the pitch, which she couldn't bring it under control. And Ipswich have a chance now, but the ball is given away. The pass was too heavy, and it's back in the safety of Sophie Whitehouse's possession. It's kicked out of play so that treatment can be given. It's like a spot of cramp. Into the final 10. Still, neither team has managed to break the deadlock. on an afternoon that so far promises to offer so much heart and hope to Ipswich's chances of surviving, and would prove something of a setback in Charlton's push for automatic promotion. Gracie Pearce back on her feet. It's going to be a fair bit of added time, we imagine, because there's been, certainly as there always is, more stoppages in this second half than there was in the first. So Charlton know they still have time. You can see in this second half, though, that 34% of the play at the Charlton end, Ipswich have carried that threat forward in quite surprising fashion, really, given the disparity between the teams until Sunderland got that win on Friday night. It's looking like a case of being top v bottom here on match day 3. Sunderland edged onto 7 points from 3 games played coming into today's set of fixtures. Charlton on the 6 points from 2. Are we going to see them drop points for the first time this season? The only team to take maximum points from the first 2 fixtures, which is really quite something in itself. You don't usually get down to just one 100% record after 2 games, even in the 12-team division. Charlton the only side to take maximum points from those first 2 games. They still have time to make it 9 points from 3. But Ipswich doing everything they can to prevent that, and doing it really well for the first 83.5 minutes here at the Valley this afternoon. Long ball down the middle. McAteer gives chase. Peake gets there. It was a heavy clearance though, which Waring was always going to struggle to bring under control, and she's forced to concede the throw in. Charlton have stolen yards from that throw. Pearce did well with her second touch to bring it back under control and found Skeels. Lays it off to Endow. She goes back to Whitehouse. Newsham with the headed flick on to perfection to McAteer, who couldn't get the return through the legs of Peake. Flannery. Mitchell wins it back though and wins the free kick. Flannery will go into the book, following Jodie Hutton as the second player this afternoon to receive a yellow card. We're into the final 5 plus added time. Paige Peake, confirmation of that yellow card for Kira Flannery. Kenny. Waring does really well. The Ipswich youngster. Hutton with the throw for Charlton, wants to get on with it. But she's not given the quick option. She hurls it long. Endow. Tidy footwork from Alicia Endow. One promotion with Aston Villa, she did. Mary McAteer. Still McAteer. Ipswich find a way to prevent her forcing her way through. Bradley with the header. Kenny lays it off to Newsham. Newsham with the in-swinger. Will it drop? Oh, to Endow. Well, that could have been well, for a moment I thought Charlton might win a penalty there. But it's gone the other way. Mitchell on Endow. Now they were both going for the ball. And it's an Ipswich free kick. I think that was borderline. Perhaps the flag was up. But it looks to me like Ipswich may have got away with one there. Negri, long down the middle. Hutton won the header. Fitzgerald sends it through to Kenny. Kenny's in a foot race now with Waring. Still Kenny with the layoff to Hutton. Hutton turns, but Rowe is in close attention and gets the block in. Drops to Bradley. Free kick once more to Ipswich. And you can hear the frustration in the stands of the Valley, the home crowd. Would have come here with great anticipation of seeing their team continue their perfect start to the season, but it's not gone that way so far. Charlton getting ready for their fifth and final substitution. Skills sends it down the centre of the pitch. But Kenny keeps it in. Lays it back in the direction of McAteer, but it wasn't the perfect pass, and Ipswich managed to steal in and win it back, and now it's with Pescott, who wins Ipswich a valuable free kick. Janice Chime is readying herself to enter the fray, but we're not going to see that change quite yet. Negri. Charlton throw. And that substitution
for the Alex, please show your appreciation
coming
to
now.
24, Kira Flannery.
It is Janice Chime, the youngster, on for Kira Flannery. Kira Flannery on loan for the season from West Ham. She'll turn 20 later this week. Janice Chime made her substitute just before last Christmas as a 16-year-old. Got so much young talent here, have Charlton. And great experience too. 6 added minutes. Ipswich so close now to a famous result, their first ever points at WSL 2 level, or at this level in the WSL era, I should say. Ipswich were founding members of the first Women's National Premier League back in 1991, well before the WSL days. Some might argue that was a different incarnation of the club. But in the modern era, Ipswich playing in the WSL 2 for the very first time. And they are so close now to getting their first ever points. But are we going to see late heroics for Charlton once more? We saw them last week, not as late as this. But they turned that game on its head against Durham last weekend to great effect. Back on home territory this afternoon, but they've not yet found a way to break down an Ipswich side that's conceded 5 goals in their first 2 games. Well, the referee is just having to reattach either her communication device or perhaps a GPS tracker that's often used to track officials and players these days. Just some readjustments going on there, which gives the Charlton staff a chance to have a chat with Gillian Kenny. Signed from Providence College in the US this summer, to Kenny. Back underway. Added time at the end of added time after that stoppage. Dean can't keep it in, and it'll be a Charlton throw. Kenny, Fitzgerald, and down. It's gone under the feet of Newsham. Rare lapse from Charlotte Newsham. She takes the throw in quickly though. Finds McAteer, who leapt really well to win the header. Lay it off to Kenny, who has won Charlton a late corner. Well, this would be cruel on Ipswich. Can Charlton navigate away to a late winner? Hutton hangs it up towards the far side of the 6-yard box. It's gone all the way through though, and Dean gets a foot in to knock it away from Newsham. And Dean's just going to need a little bit of attention here, at least from the referee. And she's back on her feet, so the medical staff not required. Well, Newsham look to hurl this one long. She can. Sends it in the direction of Fitzgerald. Mitchell wins the header. The towering presence of Mitchell. She's had another fine game for Ipswich this afternoon. And Neville just lets that go behind for the goal kick. Negri is in absolutely no hurry to take this. You can't blame Ipswich. They need to get a foothold in this division. They need to register a point on the board. Mitchell hammers it clear. Pearce lets it go out under pressure from Dean for a Charlton throw. Joanne Horwood ushering Bradley back. Hutton back rather to take it. Pearce swivels and sends it out to Kenny. Waring prevents Fitzgerald from getting there, heads it out of play. Into the final of the added 6 minutes. There'll be a bit more than that though. But Ipswich now within touching distance. And Dow sends one rather wayward over the top. Long ball forward. And Negri can just watch that drop out of play. I think Charlton are going to be a little disappointed that they weren't able to change the game or raise the intensity in the way that they did last weekend. For whatever reason, that just hasn't happened this afternoon. They will, though, remain unbeaten, it looks, and that is still a very positive start to 2025-26 for Charlton, but how they would have loved to have made it 3 wins from 3, 9 points from 9. It's going to take late drama to do that now. Fitzgerald in the centre of the park, can't bring it under control. Headed back by Pearce in the direction of Fitzgerald. It's out for a Charlton throw. Waring with the clearance. Drops to Peskett. And Joanne Horwood does blow the final whistle. It is a famous result for Ipswich Town, their first ever point in WSL 2, their first clean sheet to frustration for Charlton, who led the table after 2 games, who kicked off on home turf this afternoon with a maximum 6 points from 6 available in the bag. They were seeking a 3rd win on the spin. They remain undefeated. They remain certainly a side that many will look out for, that many will feel have the potential to stay in the promotion race right to the end, as they have done in each of the last 3 seasons. But frustration for Karen Hills and the Addicts this afternoon, because Ipswich Town, newly promoted to the WSL2, have come here and taken a point back from South East London. It's finished at the Valley. Charlton Athletic 0, Ipswich Town 0.